episode of Scaled, where we're going to look at every segment on Smackdown Live, give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, and then give the show an overall rating. Smackdown is live from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania this week. We kick things off with Daniel Bryan coming out, cutting a heel promo on Kofi and Kevin Owens, referring to Kofi as the guy who throws pancakes out into the crowd, and Kevin Owens as being the guy who eats a bunch of pancakes. This brings out Kevin Owens, who cuts a terrific promo on Daniel Bryan. Owens has definitely got the crowd behind him, maybe not as much as Kofi does, but as soon as he said the word yep, the entire arena was chanting yep, 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 which is a great callback to last year on the road to WrestleMania when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were feuding with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon and leading to their match at WrestleMania. With only 5 days left until Fastlane, this segment alone I felt like was great to build up Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan, considering they only had last week and this week to do so. So yeah, I'm giving this an 8.5. It was a terrific segment. Already loving KO as a face. I was a little iffy about him being a face because he's such a terrific heel, but after seeing this promo that he cut, there's no doubt in my mind KO is going to be a great face. Next up, we got Jey Uso taking on The Miz. Now this was a little bit of a short match, but I'm giving it a 7 because it was good. Beforehand, Jey and Jimmy Uso cut a terrific promo, as they always do. I truly believe that the Usos are the real greatest tag team in the world right now. I mean, there are very few that could compete with them, both in the ring and on the mic. They are amazing. The ending, of course, shows that the Usos are going to retain at Fastlane, or at least that's my prediction. Because the Miz and Shane McMahon were able to walk away with their heads held high here. And I love how the finish played into the promos that were cut just prior to the match when the Miz told Jey Uso, hey, if you lose focus, I will expose you. And that's exactly what he did. Jimmy got involved in the match a little bit without the referee seeing, and Shane McMahon takes out Jimmy. Jey sees this, he gets ready to go and jump over the rope to attack Shane McMahon, but the Miz catches him, lands a skull-crushing finale. 1, 2, 3, that's it. And quite possibly the best match I've seen in weeks. We have a US Open Challenge where R-Truth comes out, does some of his goofy stuff. Before Samoa Joe came out, Lacey Evans comes out. I don't know if this was to throw us off and make us think that there was going to be an intergender match happening or what. It just seems like they're looking for any place they can to fit in Lacey Evans, which is really getting annoying. I mean, they need to just, why don't they just put her in a match? Also, as Lacey Evans is walking to the back, for whatever reason, the crowd is just chanting Little Jimmy, which is awesome because I haven't heard Little Jimmy chants in a few years. And then his challenge is answered by not just Samoa Joe and not just Rey Mysterio, but also Andrade, making this a fatal 4-way match, which is a little unfair because last week in the triple threat, R-Truth at least agreed to it being a triple threat. He didn't agree to this being a fatal 4-way this time. It just kind of happened. Samoa Joe dominated most of this match, and rightfully so, considering he was the one who walked out with the championship, and again, rightfully so. Samoa Joe has deserved the championship run pretty much since he walked into the WWE, and has just gotten screwed over time and time again because of personal injuries or whatever. Vince McMahon probably looking at Samoa Joe as being too fat and not athletic, and taking what, 3 years for him to actually see what Samoa Joe is capable of. Giving this a 9.5, Joe without a doubt deserves this win, deserves the championship, and deserves a long run with the championship. I kind of see this as leading into a match with John Cena at WrestleMania with the US title on the line. I hope Joe retains there if that match does happen. Next up, we're informed and shown footage of Kofi Kingston and the New Day being in India. This is basically just to keep heads cool, to let us know that he's not going to be on SmackDown tonight. I'm not giving this a rating. It was literally only about 10 or 15 seconds long, but they did say that they were going to be at Fastlane, so you can definitely count on this Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan rivalry to continue until WrestleMania. Maybe they'll make this like a triple threat or a fatal 4-way match with Kofi, Bryan, KO, and maybe even Sami Zayn. Next up is Ricochet and Aleister Black taking on The Bar. I am much more in favor of this match than their match on Raw, where they had a Raw Tag Team title match against the Revival. Check out my episode of Scaled on Raw for my opinion on that. I'm going to give this a 6.5. It was short, but it was still good. The only thing I didn't really like about it is that it felt like Ricochet and Black beat The Bar a little too easily. I mean, The Bar is a really good tag team. You do have a former WWE champion in that tag team, so it just felt a little like they were beaten a little too easily to me. The real action, however, came after the match when Rusev and Shinsuke got involved, and then this led to the Hardy Boys coming down and making a save. So maybe there's going to be some type of 8-man tag team match next week where Ricochet and Black will team up with the Hardys to take on the Bar, Shinsuke, and Rusev. Or maybe that'll be a WrestleMania match just to try and get everybody on the card, because there are so many superstars right now on both Raw and SmackDown. It's questionable how they're going to get them all on a WrestleMania card when there's so much going on. Time for the absolute worst segment of the night. It's getting a 3. It's Mandy Rose versus Naomi. The reason why this is the worst is because it was only 45 seconds. Yes, I went back and I timed it. I watched this match twice because it was only 45 seconds, so why not? 45 seconds is how long it took Mandy Rose to beat Naomi. Without, well, okay, she did have a little bit of assistance from Sonya Deville, but it was just a distraction. It was not like she actually interfered in the match. She just got up on the apron, distracted Naomi, allowed Mandy to get the upper hand, hit her finisher, 1, 2, 3. That was it. Now, I kind of feel like this is to punish Naomi in a way because of recent reports or rumors circulating about Naomi and the Usos trying to get fired. To me, it seems like WWE is rewarding the Usos by throwing the tag team championships on them, but completely punishing Naomi. The only good thing about this is that it makes Mandy look strong going into Fastlane when she challenges Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But even then, as Mandy and Sonya Deville are on their way to the back, they're attacked by Asuka. And yes, this makes Asuka look strong, and that's great. But where does that leave the SmackDown Women's Championship after Fastlane? Are they going to put the championship on Mandy? I can't really see that happening. I mean, not this soon. And taking it off of Asuka this soon, I don't like that. I believe Asuka needs to take the championship to WrestleMania, and maybe even walk out of WrestleMania with the championship, considering how screwed over she got last year. Backstage, AJ Styles gives an interview and advocates for Kofi Kingston, stating how the McMahons claim that they're listening to the WWE Universe, but they're not listening to how the universe is chanting for Kofi Kingston, and how Vince McMahon just pulls Kofi out of the WWE Championship match for no reason at all. I'm giving this segment a 6 because not only does AJ help build up Kofi Kingston, but he also helps build up Kevin Owens. And then Randy Orton comes in and interrupts and just kind of says some stuff to get under AJ's skin, and pretty much building up towards their match at WrestleMania, which, yes, I know it's not made official yet, but it's pretty obvious at this point. Now, I'm not giving this next announcement a grade either. It's basically just letting us know that Rey Mysterio versus Andrade is going to happen on the kickoff show at Fastlane. Again, I don't like that this is going to be on the kickoff show, because Mysterio and Andrade are the reason why the Fatal 4-Way match this week and the Triple Threat last week were so great, and it's like this match should be on the main card. With what Rey Mysterio and Andrade are doing in the ring, the chemistry that these two have together, this match should definitely be on the main card, not on the kickoff show. Now we have Rowan taking on Kevin Owens, where Owens wins via disqualification after Daniel Bryan is on commentary, talking loud enough that Kevin Owens can hear him, and getting his attention and getting under his skin. Just more good stuff building towards their match this Sunday. Daniel Bryan, of course, gets involved in the match. I'm giving this 5.5. The match itself was entertaining, but it was made to help build up towards Bryan's and Owens' match this Sunday. We did see the return of Mustafa Ali here, even though the crowd was chanting for Sami Zayn to come out. Mustafa did get a bit of a pop here. He just wasn't the person that the audience was expecting to see. And I gotta give a huge shout out to Kevin for his KO stunner. I know that's not officially what it's being called, it's just what I'm referring to it as, because I think that's what it should be called. The KO stunner, it makes sense. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin has shouted out to Kevin Owens on his delivery of the Stone Cold stunner, giving him props on it. Earlier in the night, we saw Charlotte Flair send out an invitation to Becky Lynch, inviting her to Smackdown tonight, so that way they could have a face-to-face conversation before their match at Fastlane. A little bit later on, we saw Becky arriving, and then we finish up the night in the ring with Charlotte and Becky. Basically, Charlotte recaps what happened on Raw the previous night, even shows some footage. Then she gets the crowd to start chanting Becky, so that way Becky will come out, they can have their face-to-face conversation. They talk for a second. Becky states how Ronda gave her her absolute best, beat the holy hell out of her, but yet Becky is still standing. And even Charlotte gives her props on that. She gives her a little bit of a nod. But it isn't long before Charlotte kicks the crutch out from underneath Becky and begins attacking her. Becky is eventually able to get the upper hand and fend off Charlotte and stand tall at the end. Pretty obvious that Becky's going to come out on top at Fastlane to make the match at WrestleMania between her, Charlotte, and Ronda official. Makes me wonder if this is going to be the main event of Fastlane or if the WWE Championship match is going to be the main event of Fastlane. If anybody has any ideas, hey, drop me a line in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. This segment's going to get a 7.5. It was basically just Charlotte recapping what happened on Raw and using the little time that they had to build up towards their match for Fastlane. Overall, this episode is going to get a 6.69. Stay tuned for future episodes of Scaled and other videos which will be posted soon. I'd appreciate any support you guys can give me out there. A like, a subscribe. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. I appreciate you guys.